Hi everyone. I just set my laptop to shine on my face a bit because I'm talking to you from the dark, forgetting that it will actually go off. So I'm just going to set it to play something on silent. Technical issues. The studio is not perfected yet. What did I want to talk about today? Learning to mother myself. Just realised I was looking the wrong way. Learning to mother myself. So, what can I say? Because I think this is really applicable to so many of us. And I don't want to get too heady about this. So for me, I never really knew what that flavour of like mothering, kind comfort was. I was certainly held and hugged and, nurtured in lots of ways. But I think as most of us, I'd say most of us experience, what am I saying? Virtually all of us experience conditional love growing up. And for me, I had no idea how to be gentle with myself. And I don't know if that's strange for people to hear, because I think I come across as, I'm a Cancer rising and I'm Pisces sun, and I can come across as mothering even, but bringing that back to myself, whoa. And I would go so far as to say that I was allergic to love. I pushed it away. My life was all about striving, ambition, ego, both in the fear around that and striving to be worthy the whole time. And I think these are really familiar to certainly anyone who'd be drawn to this channel. And I got in a bit of a... I haven't used this expression maybe all my life. I want to say "tis was." That's I'm assuming a very British expression for getting your knickers in a twist, or getting into a state. I don't know what your equivalent would be. "Tis was." And I can say that jokingly now because I'm no longer in it. These things are never nice to be in. There are so many things I can't control about my body and about my recovery, and I get into this place of doing lots of planning, and not so much planning, but just that thing, like, you have to constantly adjust what you do. You have to constantly adjust to the ups and downs of recovery. I guess it's like life lessons, but I think it's just really magnified when you don't have your health. And so, I was feeling really on track. Some things were better. Some of my symptoms were getting better. I felt more in control. There's like pain aspects with my health, which I've had to clear out a lot of fear and resistance around, because it was starting to really freak me out. And that space we can get into such a knotted anxiety because this pain is coming. So I've been doing a lot of work on that. And then this week, I've some of my symptoms have taken a nosedive again. And I'm just like, and the plan goes out the window. And, those really destructive thoughts come back, like, you're never going to crack this. And all that kind of thing. So I had a few moments of that today. And it's such a visceral fear about basic survival that comes up. And it takes a lot of courage, I think, to keep facing that and working it through and clearing out the fear. And then I remember the periods when I've been really, really ill, I just haven't got on top of that at all, and I've nosedived into just constant panic, that constant anxiety loop. They call it the anxiety loop in the chrysalis effect. That's the recovery program I'm in, which is awesome. I finally found my place of recovery, which is huge. I'll talk about them more, but I just want to keep coming back to this mothering energy idea. I sort of consciously started to program it into myself, like how I talk to myself. So I managed to get rid of a lot of the toxic shame and the inner critic, and very, very gradually start to get kinder voices into my head. So yeah, consciously doing that for about a year now. And that's led to all sorts of wonderful synchronicity, getting in touch with the goddess far more, being able to read books all about the Magdalenes and Christ energy, which is like the softest. I just see pink whenever I think of Christ energy. It's just so soft and accepting, and like just all of your fears and resistance just melt away in its presence. It's just beautiful. And I want to quickly add there, I'm not religious, I'm not a Christian. I believe Christ walked this earth and brought certain energies with him, and I tap into those. And the Magdalenes were completely essential in that process. So all these wonderful goddesses have come to me since opening up more and more, and the Mother Mary energy, and oh man, and I think with the programming you get set up to push and to not receive. I'd lost my ability to receive, and the last 6 months all of my guidance has been about receive, receive, receive. So for example, right now, receive how wonderful it is to just sit in this chair chatting with you guys. And when I feel it, I am in receiving. I am in receptivity. And all my cells in my body get saturated with the beauty and the love that is right here. I'm receiving it. So that's been a huge word for me this past 6 months, receive. To get into my own femininity, the feminine is all about receiving. And oh my, my brain, maybe even 4 or 5 years ago, would have thought that was just selfish. But now I realise it is essential. And it is so loving to do when you can receive that into your own energy. That's the only way you can then share it with others. Embodying it first. So today, I guess you could say my masculine got a bit knocked. It was like, we've had these plans, they've been working. I've got this awesome recovery program, wanting the path to be linear, and whilst logically knowing it's not going to be like that, but you still get knocked when it takes a dip. And so I turned to my journal, which is probably the biggest way that I tap into much deeper wisdom. And first of all, there was the letting go, like letting go of, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but I mean letting go of my idea of recovery. Letting go of my body doing what I think it should do. Letting go of what health looks like to me. Because I think this is where the balance comes in. Whilst, of course, I have to focus on my recovery and what I need to do for my body, so eating as well as I can, getting my sleep as good as I can, getting a really good balance with movement and rest, doing the things that light me up, doing the things that bring me into that deep, deep healing state often enough, all of those things, and the beautiful masculine structure around all of that is starting to really take effect. And then sometimes when I then get knocked into fear, I realise I've lost the focus, and that asking why to everything is such a good practice. It's like, why do I want my health? It's like, well, I want to feel good. And what does feeling good mean to me? It means feeling totally, utterly accepting and loving toward myself. So I am just love. I am love, I am loving, and I am loved. And that is the core of everything. So every single strategy in my life, every single thing I do is to support being loved, loving. I've said it the other way around and confused myself. To be loving, loved, and whatever the other one is, it'll come to be. Brain freeze. Who needs ice cream, hey? Who needs ice cream? So I had a lovely feminine voice come in with guidance for me, which I think of as like the Great Mother. Sometimes I'm aware it's a very specific one, and it's a huge energy, so it's like an Isis type energy. Sometimes it's a much more kind of personal mother to me, in the spirit realm, so maybe one of my soul tribe. And she was just beautifully reminding me of the core of why I do everything I do. And to realise that no matter how long it takes me to heal, no matter what strategies I have in place, and yes, they're awesome, but keep them in balance with the deeper thing, with what I really want, and how to be... I'm going to forget the 3 again. I'm going to write it in exclamation marks. It'll be interesting to see which one I've got a block on. To be loving, and loved. It was the be one, yeah, which is my lesson today. Okay, to be love. I have to just be it first. So, and that's where the receptivity comes in again, where as soon as I've let go, when I've stopped resisting, where I've stopped being hooked onto all these structures, being the thing, and I've come back to being love, and I do that through receiving from this goddess energy, from the feminine, from the mothering energy. It feels like all my souls, all souls, all the cells in my body. Pain eases, discomfort eases, symptoms ease. I'm not suggesting this is a quick fix. I'm not suggesting that I never have symptoms again, but what's around them, it's like coating all of these life conditions, my health, my symptoms, my mental state, it's like coating them in honey. So instead of feeling tortured by them, I can still feel comfort. I can still feel love and acceptance. I can still feel joy, even happiness, even whilst these things are going on, because they've been coated in honey from the Divine Mother. And yes, obviously over time of repeatedly doing this, those things become less and less. I mean, there's always stuff, right? This is life. Let's not kid ourselves. But so that is my practice. Balancing my masculine and feminine. So the masculine I adore, like he just wants me to be in that state all the time, and then it's me getting hooked onto that and forgetting that I can come back to this mother energy. And no beating myself up for that either. That mother energy, it has been an incredibly weak muscle for me. As I said, I think I was actually allergic to it. And I've heard other people say this, you're allergic to that love. It's so vulnerable because you also need to then, immediately softens everything, which means it softens you into any traumas and pain that is there as well, with love. And I think the psyche only goes there when it's ready. But it's this great softening. And when you have mother energy coming in, it triggers all the so-called mothering you've had. That's the big one. That's the suffering right there. It's the original separation. It's the constant separation you experience as a child, and it grows and grows into suffering, and you feel powerless as a child, let alone all your other lifetimes. So that initial mother energy is very triggering, and for me it's been a process of handling the toxic shame, of letting in tiny bits of love, you know, what I could handle without having this very visceral resistance to it, because it was just too much. It was too triggering to feel that. It's a bit like how could I describe it? I don't know, I always think of horses. I think they are the best analogy ever. You know, when a horse is like trembling in the corner of its stable, traumatized from a lifetime of abuse, has absolutely no trust at all for humans, and you try and go in there with loads of love, it's not a quick fix. You've got to go in slowly. The trust is in meeting that traumatized creature exactly where it is. It's like, you know, don't dump it with like I'm just seeing like Christmas time of like a room full of candy and love letters, and you're not going to just throw all that stuff at it. You're going to like maybe just leave out one little horse treat which isn't too sweet because it's going to react, and you just leave it there, and then you walk away. And then like, the next day you would do that again, and they might still, and what's wonderful with horses, like you'll see just like the quiver of a muscle in the right direction, but they're not sure, so they pull back. And if you go in too hard with that love and that your presence, then they will react big time, either, and exactly the same trauma states that we have. So flight, they'll literally start to try to climb the walls or even bolt past you. Like some will actually risk touching you, which is so terrifying in itself, but they will still risk it to bolt out the door if they don't see their stable's the safe place. Or they will fight. The fawn one, maybe that's a particularly human one. I'm guessing that they would very much fawn with other horses, like they would just be glued to other horses or whatever it is that they do trust. So that is how I've had to treat myself as this wild, traumatized creature, particularly with the CPTSD, especially with ME. There's a lot of overlap. I think a lot of people have both. I've had to treat myself like that. And whenever I'm overwhelmed, I've just gone a bit too fast for myself with the whole love thing. So the big triumph is that I can now sit in mother energy. I still, you might even be picking this up from the video, I still, even the word mother, I still have a bit of like, yeah, there it is. But I'm learning and I'm getting there. So I had this beautiful feminine voice come in, and I'm so grateful. Thank you, Spirit. And it just soothed everything. And then my masculine was like, right, let's make a meditation with this beautiful spirit voice and play it 3 times a day, and then we'll crack it forever. So that's the masculine hero swooping in. I wanted to be like, oh, this is it, quick. I love the masculine so much. So that needs a bit of balancing as well. I'm just staying in receptivity. It's just beautiful. I think that is my mission right there, is to learn to embody the mother, the true mother, the divine mother. Complete unconditional love. And then, yeah, and whoever this helps, wow, amazing. Let's all mother ourselves, shall we? And as I mentioned, if you get triggered by the word mother even, that's your starting point. So after this, my masculine was like, well, you know, okay, so we're not going to make a meditation just yet, straight away, and listen to it endlessly to fix this forever, but could we at least do something? So I had to compromise. And this is something I wanted to do anyway. I've been looking up other oracle decks because I really want some more which really resonate with me. I'm such a visual person. I want some really arty ones. I don't know if I'll ever get on with the tarot that much. I think I'll just keep dipping in and out. So anyway, I found a mother deck which I particularly liked, and it felt very earthy, because some of them are beautifully about the mother archetypes and the goddesses and like Isis, and I could find some of those a bit too detached, in that same way that when I tap into Isis, that level of love and just huge power for me, I actually take in another mothering spirit with me if ever I'm drawn to talk with Isis, because I need a bit of translation, a bit of more humanness, and I don't mean that as in inhumane or inhuman or any of the less love. I just purely, where my vibration is at, I just purely need that extra help. Powerful being. Powerful energy, I should say. Okay, so I've just ordered a deck, it's kind of very cute. The images are almost childlike, which I like as well. It's definitely my inner child doing a bit of choosing there. My masculine is happy. I've done something towards this in a masculine way. Ordered an oracle deck. That's as masculine as I get, by the way. Ordering an oracle deck. Oh dear. That needs to be on a t-shirt, even if just for me. I'm going to pull 3 cards. 1 card? Is it 1 card? I really want to wrap this. I don't want any of my videos to be much over 20 minutes, I don't think, at the moment. Well, okay. Okay, 3 have flown out. Fine. Oh dear. So my question to Spirit was, thank you Spirit for being very speedy, tapping into mother energy. Now this is not a deck about mothering energies particularly, it's not about the goddess, this is just the deck I already have, which is the map, the Enchanted Map by Colette Baron Reed. Yeah, it's the deck I'm most comfortable with, I think, at the moment. Actually, no, there's one other one. I'll bring that out another day. This is really interesting. Let me tap into these for a minute. Spirit, what are you bringing me with these cards about us all learning how to mother ourselves? Well, very beautifully. I pulled this one yesterday as well for starting this vlog. So this is the Bone Collector. I mean, look at that feminine essence right there. Almost not even gender specific there. Bone Collector. So this is soul retrieval, collecting the bones. It's a reminder that absolutely everything you need is within you. Find the tools that work for you to clear out all the resistance, all the shaming, all the trauma, and everything will be revealed. So unearth your own inner mother. Follow your own path. So that's the first one. And also I'm very struck that, you know, you've got these skeletons and things, like the Divine Mother has been underground for a very long time, and I don't mean in the underworld, I mean, or in the subconscious, I mean just buried in our culture, so deeply buried. Not saying that, you know, women and men have been doing all they can to bring up the children in the best way they can. But our society has just had it so wrong for such a long time. You've got the clock, it is time. It's on time to unearth the mother. I love that. I'm following her, 2 really interesting ones. Oh, see, once I start looking at the cards, I could just spend half an hour on them. Okay, Ghostlands. Soul retrieval, again, we are retrieving the mother from the ghostlands of our past. We heal the past when we bring back the internal mother. It's a gentle reminder not to get lost or hung up in what our previous experiences of the mother have been. That is everything that needs healing. That is everything that's in the way of the unconditional love, which we actually are at all times, all moments, all forms. So lovelies, go into your ghostlands, retrieve yourself, retrieve the mother. Imagine how you'd want her to be. Imagination is so, so powerful. It's our most powerful tool. And then another lovely kind of grey, I'm saying lovely, you're going to think, what? The dragon's lair. So very, very grey and icy again. Be prepared for going to ask my spirit guide to clarify how I want to say this. Be prepared for the parts of you that have iced over. Be prepared for parts of yourself you might not have encountered when reclaiming the mother. There might be rage. There might be anger. This is like the castle of the inner child. This is where all the suppressed rage and, I want to say demons, the nightmares where it's all been buried. I'm hearing that all of those things were custodians at one time or other. Like, this is how much protection we have all had against unconditional love. We've had all these forces up to it, like blocking. So, like our dragon energies, icing over. How interesting, like the different trauma types or expression of trauma types. Again, as I mentioned earlier, the fight, fawn, freeze, flight, they are all represented there. So Spirit is saying, be so, so gentle with yourself as you walk through any of these inner kingdoms. As you do your soul retrieval, do it so, so gently. There's no rush. It's all beautiful work. Have your protective forces. Dragon energy is such a beautiful, powerful thing to tap into. That might come through in your life as the right therapist, the right friend, people you follow on YouTube. Are they embodying the mother for you? So don't be afraid of this card. It's not about danger as such at all, especially in this reading. This is about just go so, so gently with yourself, because this might be the state of your inner world if you've not tapped into the mother energy as yet. And on the other side of that, I'll draw another card for that. But on the other side of that, well, actually, no, she's here, isn't she? You've collected the bones, and then this is you. You become this mother image, whether you're a man or a woman. You embody the mother, and you become this smiling, beaming, open-hearted, playful. Look how, I want to say, plump and just sat in her own energy, totally herself, playful, childlike, but obviously very powerful. That's where you're heading. That's who you really are. That's what you're retrieving. That's beautiful. On the bottom of the deck, very quickly, education. So if you're like me, and a mother energy has been corrupted, abused, denied, we have to actually re-educate ourselves on how it feels, how to receive it, what it looks like, how it operates, how to slowly and gently and lovingly release resistance to it, understandable resistance to it, because we've been programmed to have it confused with conditional love and a lot of pain. So it really is, it's not a magic flicking a switch in one day. It's like gently and lovingly educate yourself, just like a child learning to walk, a toddler learning to walk. And we do have these beautiful teachers. You have the spirit world, you have nature, Mother Nature. Just look at how she works. You have your inner world with the moon, it's all in there. And find all the teachers that you need, who embody. They don't just talk about it, they embody. Thank you, Spirit. So guys, well, I hope I have embodied a little bit at least to transmit to you. I hope you felt mothered today. We're nearly at Winter Solstice. So our beautiful Earth Mother has been going into her darkness. She's been replenishing, she's been resting. In the Northern Hemisphere this is. And just reverse the meanings for all you lovely people in the Southern Hemisphere. She's been restoring while her sister in the Southern Hemisphere has been reaching her heights. It's always in balance. And moving back towards the sun. So what a perfect time to, as Mother Earth is coming back up into her full expression for us, the days will start to get shorter. What a beautiful time to integrate that. And if you're in, the height of summer right now, just feel every single cell of your body being drenched with sun. And be aware that that is exactly how to receive. We are all pretty good at receiving sunlight. I know there might be a slightly different concept in really, really hot countries, but when the sun is it's just the right temperature, it's a beautiful day, and you just sit and you receive. Okay, beautiful people. I'll talk to you again soon.